You know how someone tries to pretend that everything is fine, but their eyes can't lie? That's exactly where he is right now. Trying to move forward, trying to smile, trying to erase what he feels for you. But something always slips through, a long silence, a shift in his tone, a lost gaze. And most of all, your name. Every time he utters your name, his world stops. His breath catches. His heart tightens. It's as if his body remembers what his mind is trying to forget. And this, dear soul, is no coincidence. The angels are whispering right now. There's a greater reason why this connection hasn't faded away. There are feelings inside, on the other side, that are far from over. What you both shared wasn't something ordinary, and the universe doesn't easily forget that kind of love. At first, he thought it would just be another phase. One of those fleeting enchantments that time erases. But the more he tries to erase you, the more you pop up in unexpected places. In the lyrics of a song, in a scent on the street, in someone else's gesture that suddenly reminds him of your way of connecting with the world. And that's when the angels say, this feeling isn't going away. It's maturing. Because there's a kind of love that doesn't depend on physical presence, that doesn't require daily messages, but thrives in silence, growing in the spaces of time and absence. That's the love he feels for you. And the big truth is, he misses you more than he can admit. Even if he's trying to seem okay, maybe moving on with other connections, perhaps diving into work or distractions. Deep down, nothing fills that space that's been there since you left his life. Because that space has your shape. And no one else fits there. Have you ever noticed how certain people pass through our lives and leave marks that time cannot erase? You were that for him. More than just a love, you were a mirror. You made him see himself in a way that no one ever could. With you, he felt things he didn't even know existed within him. And that still scares him to this day. Yes, the angels confirm, he feels fear. Fear of the intensity. Fear of losing control. Fear of giving in again and getting lost in that feeling. But also, hope. Because, despite everything, he keeps the memory of your voice like a sanctuary. He goes back in his thoughts, to the conversations you had, to the unspoken promises, to the glances that said everything. And whenever he thinks of you, there is a sacred silence within him. A space where only you exist. And that's why, no matter how much he tries, no matter how much he tells himself it's time to move on, every time he utters your name, his voice falters. Because his soul is crying out. The angels want you to know, true love is never lost. It simply transforms. And at this moment, even without knowing how to say it, he carries that love with him. In the way he walks a little slower when he passes by places you shared. In the way he closes his eyes for just 1 second longer when he hears your song. In the impulse to grab his phone and look up your name, even when he doesn't have the courage to write. And here's the part that the angels asked me to share with you very carefully. He will come back. But not out of need. Not out of longing. He will come back because he will realize that you are home. That your presence is a refuge. That your energy is unique. But while that moment hasn't arrived, you have a choice. To continue radiating light. To take care of yourself just as you always took care of him. To strengthen your heart. Because when that reunion happens, and it will happen, you need to be whole. Not waiting for salvation, but ready for a true love, soul to soul. And now, in a moment of deep connection, the angels ask me to tell you, if these words have touched your heart, if you felt that this message was meant for you, then let your soul say yes. Write in the comments, I receive this truth in my heart. Because this simple gesture is a sign, a call, a wake up. And the universe responds when the soul says yes. There is something profoundly spiritual about the way you appeared in this person's life, and the angels want you to understand that. You were not a coincidence, a random moment in destiny. You were sent. Yes, sent. Because they needed to feel something that had long been dormant. They needed to remember that true love exists. That it's still possible to surrender. and that there is someone capable of seeing them beyond their masks. This person spent so much time trying to be strong, trying to hide their vulnerabilities, that they forgot how it feels to be truly seen. But when you appeared, everything changed. You saw beyond the surface. You touched their essence, and that disarmed them. The presence of a soul that sees another completely is one of the greatest gifts one can receive, and also one of the scariest. And that's why they pulled away. That's why they acted as if they didn't care. Because surrendering meant emotionally stripping themselves bare. And they weren't ready. But now, something is changing. The angels are showing that they are starting to realize that running away from you is, in fact, running away from themselves. Because what they feel for you is not just love, it's a mirror. It's a mission. It's healing. Yes, healing. You with your light, your sensitivity, and your unique way of embracing and understanding are helping this man heal wounds he didn't even know he was carrying. You are helping his soul remember that he deserves love, that he can be vulnerable and still be loved. Even if he doesn't yet know how to express it, he feels it. In his body, in his heart, in the silence of the nights, in every thought that comes back to you when the day ends. And here lies the key, dear soul. You don't need to do anything other than continue being who you are. Don't pressure yourself for immediate answers. Don't question whether he feels or not. He does. With a force that scares him. With a depth that few have ever experienced. And that's why it takes time. That's why he hesitates. But he will understand. And when he does, when he finds the courage to look within and see how much you've touched his soul, he will come back. With eyes full of truth. With his heart in his hands. Without masks. And on that day, everything will make sense. In the meantime, the angels urge you to trust. Trust the process. Trust the divine timing. Trust the love you've planted. Because that love, even when silenced, is blossoming. It's growing stronger. It's getting ready to be lived, for real. Now, in a sacred moment between you, this message, and the angels, allow yourself to take a step beyond. Let your heart say yes to this soul reunion. Write in the comments, I am ready to live this love with courage and truth. This simple gesture is a portal, a declaration, a surrender. And the angels respond to sincere surrender with unexpected miracles. Dear soul, there's something you need to listen to very carefully now. This man, even if he has never said it, carries within him a silent battle. A struggle between what he feels and what he believes he can or cannot live. He has learned, throughout his life, to hide his feelings, to be strong, to be rational, to keep everything under control. But with you, none of that has worked. Because your presence deconstructed everything. It messed with the structures. It touched on points he swore were securely locked away. And not because you tried. It was precisely the opposite. It was because you simply were who you are. With your sweetness, your firmness, your truth. You made him feel. And for someone who has spent so much time avoiding deep feelings, that's almost a shock. But it's also a relief. Because feeling is being alive. Feeling is reconnecting with the soul. And the angels show that, even though he fights against it, deep down he knows, it was you who awakened him. And that's why his name keeps popping up at the most unexpected moments. Because no matter how hard he tries to move on, he's still there, stuck in that moment when he realized how different you are. How you represent a love that doesn't hurt, doesn't suffocate, doesn't demand. A love that simply is. But, what now? What to do with all of this? The angels say it's now time for surrender. Not expectation, but trust. Not anxiety, but preparation. Because life is preparing for a reunion. A moment of truth. A moment where everything will be laid bare. And when that day comes, it will be as if time just took a pause for the two of you to be ready. Because yes, you both needed this time. He needed to understand what he feels. And you needed to learn that you deserve a whole love, not a half-hearted one. And the angels ask me to deliver one last revelation to you in this part. He dreams of you. Even when he doesn't say it. Even when he seems distant. At night, when the world goes quiet, your image comes to him. Your smile returns. Your presence is felt. And he wakes up with a tight heart, longing to be by your side, missing what could have been, and can still be. This love is divinely guided. And nothing you feel is in vain. Now once again, if this message touched your heart, if you felt it was meant for you, declare it to the universe. Write in the comments, "My heart recognizes this truth. I trust in divine timing." Because when the heart declares, the universe responds. And the angels are already working to bring your paths together. There is a scene that the angels are showing me right now. A subtle scene, but filled with emotion. He is alone in silence, holding something that reminds him of you, perhaps an old message, a photograph, a memory that insists on coming back. And in that moment, a tear escapes. Not from pain, but from recognition. Recognition that what you experienced was not ordinary. Recognition that he tried to ignore it, tried to move on. But his heart is still where it has always been, with you. And that's why the angels insist, do not doubt the strength of this connection. Because there are feelings that don't need physical presence to survive. They live in the energy, in the memory, in the soul. And this love lives. It breathes within both of you. Even if it's not being experienced right now, it exists. It pulses. And it is waiting for the right moment to bloom, a moment that is being lovingly prepared by the spiritual plans. Dear soul, you are a being of light. And no matter how much time has passed, no matter how much he has tried to convince himself that it was better to let go, your light remains bright within him. It illuminates the dark spaces that he himself didn't want to face. It shows the way back. But here is something very important that the angels ask you to listen to carefully. You are not here to wait. You are here to live. And living means taking care of yourself. Honoring your journey. Nurturing your heart with self-love. Because when that reunion happens, and it will happen, you should not be waiting for someone to return. You should be ready to walk side by side. As equals. From soul to soul. And now at this very moment, the angels invite you to a simple yet powerful gesture. Take a deep breath, place your hands over your heart, and say softly, even if just to yourself, I open myself to receive this love with maturity, truth, and courage. This silent declaration is an energetic seal, a pact of trust with a divine plan. And if you feel it in your heart, write in the comments, I am ready. I am at peace. I am whole. Because this readiness, this peace, this wholeness, is what will transform everything. And the angels, upon seeing this willingness in you, will accelerate the plans. There will be signs, synchronicities, coincidences that are, in fact, never coincidences. Because when the heart aligns with the soul, the universe conspires in your favor. Dear soul, you are about to experience something you have never experienced before. But for that to happen, you must first believe. Believe that the love that drives you is the same love that will guide you to it. And the most beautiful part? It is also starting to believe. Dear soul, now that we have reached the deepest point of this revelation, the angels want you to understand something sacred. This reunion that is being prepared will not be like before. It will not come with empty promises or the insecurities that pushed you apart in the past. This time, it will be different. This time, it will come with the soul laid bare, with truth in its gaze, with the courage that was once missing. Because something within him is changing, and you were the spark that initiated this transformation. He is beginning to realize that he can no longer hide. That life without you has color, but lacks shine. That the days go by, but something essential remains absent. Your energy, your way, your touch, your soul. And that's why, even while trying to move on, even while forcing new beginnings, every time someone mentions your name, his voice falters. His body stiffens. His eyes lose focus. Because the name he tries to forget is precisely the name that his soul still cries out. And it is in this rupture between what he tries to be and what he truly feels that transformation resides. Because the angels do not allow true love to fade without first being fully lived. You are being called into a new cycle. A cycle where love does not demand, but embraces. Where truth does not hurt, but liberates. Where connection does not account, but adds. But to enter this new time, you need to let go of what was. Let go of the pain, the fears, the expectations. And trust. Trust that everything you felt had a purpose. That every distance served a function. That his silence was a lesson. And that the waiting was not in vain. And now, with all the strength of the spiritual realm supporting this message, the angels ask that you perform one last gesture. Not for me, nor for him, but for you. Close your eyes for a moment. Visualize his face. Feel what your heart still carries for this soul. And in the end, say in your mind, I release the past. I make space for the true love that belongs to me. May it come with truth. May it come with purpose. May it come to stay. And if you feel this truth pulsing within you, write in the comments, my heart is ready to live the love I have waited for in silence. Because it is in this space of loving silence that the universe acts. It is in this moment of surrender that miracles draw near. Dear soul, everything you have felt up to this point, everything you have read, everything that has pulsated in your chest, is the confirmation. He tried to move on. He tried to forget. But he failed in every attempt. Because what you share is eternal.